What's up, everyone, and welcome to Project XTalk, an Xbox podcast, episode number 195, presented by Save the Game Media. I'm your host, Kevin, and on today's episode, we're talking all about how Tango Gameworks is still alive, is Forza Horizon 5 heading over to PlayStation, and an Xbox exclusive has been delayed. But before we get to that and so much more, gotta introduce not my normal co-host. We got some special guests hanging out with me this week. We have the Nerd Chat. First, I'm going to introduce Daddy D. Wally. How you doing?
Good. You know what, Muffin Mon? I got to say it right away.
Hmm.
We might have to steal some of your intro because that was a banger slinger. That's the first time I've seen it, and I've just been listening. You got Starfield in there. You got the Chief. And the part I'm not going to lie, we're going to steal the spicy takes. That was incredible. I'm just letting you know now. I'm probably going to steal that.
You know what's
I write
funny?
That all the time.
You know what's funny is when it was playing, I was like, the spicy takes is probably more accurate this episode than maybe ever before, because I've listened to some of the things you guys say, and I was like, yeah, this is I know what we're getting into over here.
Nice. Love it. Thank you for inviting us. So glad to be here. Let's get into it.
Yeah, absolutely. Thank you for coming on. We're also joined by his co-host, Bubble Boy. How you doing?
Doing great. I'm really excited to be here, and I love doing this kind of stuff when we get to kind of, I don't know if is it a collab? Does this count as that?
Collab.
Sure. So I was thrilled and honored to get the invite. So thank you, Project XTalk Nation.
Yeah. Project XTalk Nation. You know what's funny is we have a podcast in our network, and they call themselves the Reincarnation because they're an anime podcast, and reincarnated. It's like a whole anime thing. Yeah. And I'm like, they tell me they're taking over. They're full of crap. That's all I'm saying. All right. But yeah, the Nerd Chat, guys. Before we get into our regular rigmarole here, I wanted to give you a little bit of time to plug your stuff, let everyone know what you're all about, because this is the first my audience will probably be hearing of you. I don't know if I can't remember me and Sam have talked about the Nerd Chat previously. We talked about some of our community sister shows, as we like to call them. But Daddy Diwali, why don't you take it away? Let everyone know what the Nerd Chat's all about.
Yeah. And first of all, congratulations. 195 approaching 200. That is incredible. All right. We're not too far behind you, but I just want to say it before you get there. That is awesome. You got any big plans for that?
Not that I feel comfortable announcing publicly, because if things change, then I look like an idiot, you know. It's like, you say you're doing this.
Well, congratulations to you. What are we on, Bubble Boy? 173 or something. So we're not too far behind. So yeah, the Nerd Chat is an Xbox podcast celebrating all things gaming, food, and the good old days. And I might have to add spicy takes. Just warning you again. And that we're just a group of friends who have known each other for a long time. Like I said, we just love video games, celebrating them, and we try to stay more positive with the additional spicy takes. And that's just the gist of our podcast. And I want to shout out XEP and Luke and Nissa and Save the Game Media. Like, I really got to give credit to Luke, the community he's built over there, and it's been so welcoming, and we've been on other shows, and I love it. And like you said, you guys were with Todd before, and I've been on podcasts with Todd. Todd's been on our show. It's just awesome to meet everybody. So I just want to shout out Luke for getting this community together, and we're all here to just celebrate gaming and spicy takes.
Absolutely. And I've known Luke probably a few years at this point.
Wow.
I've probably podcasted with Luke for almost 4 years now. I come to think of it, because I think we started Project XTalk around the pandemic time. So yeah, it's been a while. Yeah, Luke, he's a great guy, and great podcast and great community. And I really can't say
great guy.
Great guy to me. All right. If you ask Joseph Moran, all right, you know what I'm saying?
Exactly.
But, all right, guys, before we get into the normal housekeeping and the news and everything, what we've been playing, since you're new to the show, you're an Xbox podcast, got to ask you some Xbox related questions. So I want to know from both of you, what was your first Xbox and what is your favorite Xbox IP?
Oh boy, go ahead.
Gosh. It's this, when we say good old days, that can sometimes come off a little controversial. But what I think of when I think of it is those LAN parties over at good old Green Mountain, where we both grew up in Lakewood, Colorado, where we would be down in, whether it was Alan's basement or Aaron's basement, with 8 of us bringing our honking TVs that each, were maybe a 16-inch TV, but it weighed 4,000 pounds. And just Halo LAN parties, man. That's where I started it. And I can then see that going on to college and doing when you had the internet that felt like at the time the most revolutionary thing, because I could do a LAN party with the dorm.
What did they call it in the dorms back in the old days?
I don't. I can.
Somebody in the chat look that up, please.
Yeah, Bacon's on there. Have Bacon do it. That's what he's for, right? So Halo. I mean, how do I not say Halo? Yeah. It's definitely my thing. How do you can't separate the two, Xbox and Halo, to me, in those LAN parties. And I saw the video the other day of the last, what was it? The last Halo 3 lobby that ever went out. And it just like, I'm not going to say I cried, but I'm not going to say I didn't either. So
you want to know what son Jam-Pack Sam always brings this up when him and I are talking behind the scenes, but sometimes like just going and watching like the midnight release of Halo 3 or something. Go watch that. Tell me you don't get some chills.
If then you're a robot if you don't. Like I can't. Yeah, that's a perfect way to think about it. So
yeah, similar to Bubble Boy, my first experience with Xbox was Halo in Mike Cito's basement. Because I was a hardcore PS fanboy. I was like, no, I don't want to do any of this. He's like, you need to try this game called Halo, Dan. And I was like, as I've said before, that was the first time experiencing the thumbsticks and looking and moving, first person shooter controls. I was like, this is god awful. I hate this game. Stayed up all night playing on Legendary, getting to the library, just sucked in, just absolutely fell in love with Halo. Then eventually when I was in college, bought my first Xbox, traded in the PS2 at the time, because I was like, what's on here that I can't play on Xbox? And Xbox had the better version of Ghost Recon that was online, and then it was over. I got Xbox Live, and so those are my first Xbox memories, my first console, and my first love was Halo Combat Evolved.
Very good choices. It's usually people's answers, if I'm going to be honest. I think that's what got most.
It's not Buffy the Vampire Slayer.
It's boring, but it's the right answer.
No, unfortunately, it's like Grabbed by the Ghoulies. I haven't heard that one, right? There's a whole plethora of games that could have been people's first experiences, but it's always usually Halo. So that's awesome, guys. I'm glad. Now I have one last question for you, not Xbox related, and this one might be a little deep cut. So the audience, you don't get this. I'm sorry, but I gotta do it. Why are you guys cheating in Fantasy Critic? Over here at Save the Game Media, we take Fantasy Critic very seriously. We have a show versus show format. All right. Now, our PlayStation show probably cheating a little this year, so I take the cheating a little offense. But like, I've been told by some reliable sources that you aren't playing fair.
Dan, you got to take this one away.
Audience, apparently these heathens, these psychos over at the Trophy Room, a PlayStation podcast, are accusing us of cheating because we activated Hades 2 getting a score. When we discussed numerous times that we are going to count any game that receives a score, whether it be in early access or not, and they're bitter betties about it, Muffin Mom. And that's literally, that's all there is to it. They're mad, and they're mad because we picked up Astrobot. And they're mad because like, how are we doing free agents? I thought we were gonna, what happened to the bidding? I've got on the tapes. Okay. That's what old people say. Check the recordings.
No picture, no proof, as I like to say.
I have the recording saying, when you want to pick or drop somebody, just let us know. We're going to try to do it quarterly. I'll just manually add and drop. And that's what we all agreed upon. And then we've got Kyle. Is this coming from Kyle or Joe? Regardless, Kyle's like, he was the one freaking out about this. And he's never active in our chat. We've got this big group chat for the Battle Royale, right? He probably wasn't even paying attention when we agreed to these roles. So basically, they're mad that we have Astrobot because they wanted to pick that up, and they're mad that Hades 2 counts. We also have No Rest for the Wicked, which I thought was going to be ranked high, and that is hurting our team right now.
Yeah, so listen, I feel like South Park Snow Days though.
Yeah.
So I feel like it's all even out. And by the way, I just want to point this out: Luke and Captain Logan, they haven't complained at all about everything
Luke's
that's happened.
defending you in the chat.
Probably because he's paying attention and understood. So, okay. Yeah. You go ahead. Take that. What did he say?
Yeah. Luke says, hi, I'm in that league. And let me tell you, the trophy room is just bad at gaming.
Okay.
They're the Jim Ryans of fantasy critics.
Yeah.
I mean, I miss crying Jim Ryan. But anyway, so that's what's going on. They're all of a sudden they want to start caring. All right. When we made some good picks, we're in the lead. Well, we're not in the lead right now, but we've got solid games coming up.
Oh, you ain't even winning. Who's whining when you ain't winning?
Yeah, Luke is actually the XCP is winning right now, but they have only like 3 games left. We've got like 6 coming up here. So one of them being Astrobot, and the other being Indiana Jones, and Assassin's Creed, and Star Wars. Feeling pretty good right now. Pretty good. But anyway, so yeah, sorry about that. We're not cheaters. We organized this. We gave out the rules. Joe sucks. There we go.
Project XTalk does not endorse the Joe sucks message. Joseph Moran has been a wonderful guest on the show multiple times. Thank you, Joe. Anyway, guys, let me get through some housekeeping and then we will dive into what we're playing. So if you're new here, this is Project XTalk. We are an Xbox podcast that's live every Thursday right here on youtube.com/SaveTheGameMedia. If you can't catch us live, we post every Friday morning on your favorite audio platform of choice. So while you're over there, make sure to drop us that 5-star review. It does help us in the algorithm, whether that's Apple, Spotify. We need it. Goes a long way. If you want to support us even further, get early audio access to all of our content and exclusive bonus content, head over to patreon.com/SaveTheGameMedia. Choose the tier that's right for you, like our current Patreon supporters. So thank you to Fabulous Brianna, Brianna's mom, Brianna's brother, Lindsay, Nikolai at Night, Cypher, Primus, Brendan Myers, Marcus O'Neill, Lillian, Mimi J, David Hotright, Dave Harp, the Xbox Expansion Pass, Alpaca Tom, Lee Navarro, Silkenit, Ellery Woods Parker III, Chad, and Shelby Macy. Thank you for your support. We appreciate each and every one of you. Finally got the housekeeping out of the way, so we're going to start the show like we always do here. I want to know, what have you been playing this week? And Bubble Boy, I'm going to start with you while I figure out how to make this not cover in your face.
Yeah, it's okay if it covers my face. Let's be honest. It is what it is. So I just started Baldur's Gate 3 on the PC and using mouse and keyboard. This will be my first mouse and keyboard game since probably Command and Conquer Red Alert back in, I don't know what, 3rd grade, maybe would that have been, Daniel? I can't remember. And because I tried it, I had gotten Baldur's Gate 3 back when I got my ROG Ally a while back, and I couldn't do it on, I mean, it looked great and it played just fine, but it was too small of a screen. It was just too small, right, Daniel?
Yep, that's what she said.
And it looks incredible. I without having to tell you too much, I have my gaming monitor is a 55-inch LG OLED, and it looks gorgeous on there, and I am loving the combat on the mouse and keyboard. I need to invest some more time to get comfortable with the exploration and just walking around with mouse and keyboard. I have not figured out all the bindings and where I want things, and like my left hand is apparently useless.
I'm right there with you. I'm so bad.
Yeah.
So that's what I've been playing.
I never play games on mouse and keyboard. If it does a support controller, you're dead to me. That's all I'm saying.
Well, and because I wanted to try it, and so who was it, Luke, or who was it, Daniel, that was giving us crap saying we need to change our name to a PC podcast?
It was Mariano Pampa.
Oh yes, of course, Pomps.
Yeah,
of course it was Pomps. That I have my Series X sitting right here, but back in May. Right? Yeah, back in May, upgraded to a PC Master Race that I've just been smitten with, and I felt like I owed it to my PC to try it on mouse and keyboard. Yeah, and my Halo Infinite Edition Elite Series 2 is sitting over there, just calling my name, like, "Bubble Boy, just pick me up. Just pick me up. I can get you through this."
I got you. I got your back. You could just be an Xbox ecosystem podcast.
For sure. Yeah. That's perfect.
My friend very obsessed with Baldur's Gate 3. I think he's on like his 3rd playthrough or something now. That is just a game that, like, one, I think it's way too big for me, way too long. I can't deal with games that long. But also, like, CRPGs not my jam. Yeah. I love RPGs, just not that.
Yeah. I haven't
takes
played
a
it
commitment.
either.
You can't just decide, oh, I'm going to start playing Baldur's Gate 3 today. Like it's a commitment.
Yeah.
Well, that's awesome. Well, hopefully you figure out the mouse and keyboard. But
Thank you.
Daddy D Wally, what have you been playing?
Speaking of mouse and keyboard, guys, I was trying to play Destiny 2 on mouse and keyboard.
Ugh.
Got to this Callous boss in the Lightfall expansion.
No wonder you guys are getting wrecked.
We couldn't handle it. But anyway, Muffin Mon, have you played Lightfall expansion on Legendary?
No. So I loved Destiny 1, and I know that's a hot take. And then I played
it was good.
base Destiny 2,
and you were out.
And then I bounced out because I didn't really care for all the changes, and I've never gone back. And
there's no point.
It's impossible to go back.
Yeah, exactly. I was gonna say so I have been there since day one, played Destiny 1, enjoyed it for what it was there right when Destiny 2 launched. And I've had this weird relationship, like hate it or love it. I enjoy the campaigns. I can't deny Bungie makes great feeling and fun to play first-person shooters. But all the side stuff, I hate the PvP. I think it's terrible. I'm like, why isn't this Halo? Because Halo's so balanced.
I don't know about that. I like Destiny PvP.
Oh, it's terrible. It's no. There's
it might be
balance.
Terrible now, but I liked it back in the day.
I've never. I don't think it's ever been good. But anyway, so I've been on and off, right? But just the other day, Bubble Boy, I forgot to tell you this. I unlocked the final achievement for Destiny 2. I got everything unlocked. The first one was in 2017, and almost 7 years exactly later, I unlocked the final achievement for Destiny.
So then you get to say to all of Project XTalk, do you care about achievements though?
Sometimes. I was so close on this. I was close. I was like, I have to finish this saga. So anyway, back to this, Kevin, is that, like I said, I'm on and off Destiny all the time. I hate it. You're absolutely right. I don't know how anybody new could try to play this game. Like Bacon has tried on Nerd Chat. Shout out to Bacon. He has no idea what he's doing. He's like, I just do whatever the missions tell me. I have no idea. He's just completely lost. I'm like, I have to finish this. When we heard good things about the final shape, I'm like, I got to do this. I'd done every expansion besides Lightfall to this point. So I convinced Bacon to get it, and I got it for Jose because Jose's been playing pretty consistently there too.
Yeah,
we were going through this Lightfall campaign. We decided Bacon's like, oh, it's too easy. Let's bump it up to Legendary. We got to the final. We got to the one boss with this laser room. It took us weeks to beat. It was just absolutely terrible. And then we got to the final boss. Basically, we found this cheese where you get underneath the stairs and shoot them through the stairs. Then you have to like get back out and then get on top of them. We tried, I think, like 5 times, and it takes 15 minutes just to shoot them to get through stage 1. And then we're like, of course, the one time I don't make it to the top, I get to the top of this area, fall through into the fighting combat zone, and it was over. It was, I don't know how anyone beats it. Dropped it down to normal, beat it like in 5 minutes.
I was gonna say, I don't understand. It's something not computing when you're like, yeah, we spent weeks on this. I would have been like, I spent an hour on this, baby, and then I dropped that to easy when I was.
We need to prove our gamer worth. Somebody will see it someday and be like, man, what a bunch of badasses over there, right?
Well, he's a masochist guy.
I don't think so. This is the same argument I have with like Souls games, right? Like just give me an easy difficulty, you know? Just give me an easy difficulty, right?
So anyway,
I ain't trying to prove nothing to nobody.
We finally beat the Lightfall expansion. We're ready to move on to Final Shape. We're excited. It's still fun. I have to say, we still have a blast on some of these levels. Shout out to Bungie. They do a great job. But Jose Bubble Boy forgot to tell you, he was like, I'm not doing that on Legendary. He even raged at one point. Chance. Yeah, Jose's the nicest guy alive. Muffin Mon. He even was like, I'm done. He like just raged quit one night. So the last thing I've been playing, Castlevania Symphony of the Night, Bubble Boy. I told you this last week. I'm about 6 hours in. I've never played it. Shout out to everyone at Last Stand. They're like calling is always like, oh, this is the greatest Metroidvania ever. I think it's fine. I think even if I would have played it back in 97, I don't think I would have been that impressed. I think I still would have preferred Super Metroid. So I don't know. That's me. I'm not that impressed with it. But again, I am playing it 20 plus years later. But I'm glad I'm doing it. And I finally got into the part. Have you played it, Kevin?
Yeah. Of course.
I've gotten to the part where it like flips, you know,
Mhm.
and so that's where I'm at. How much
Did
more
you
do I
know
got?
that was going to happen? You did, right?
Yeah, I knew about that.
Yeah.
I think that's kind of one of those, like, if you're in the gaming sphere, and you've probably heard that at some point, though, like
Yeah,
about
exactly.
Symphony of the Night. Yeah. I think it's a great Metroidvania. Metroidvania has never been one of my like go-to genres. It takes a lot for me to play a Metroidvania. To be honest, I think
I
I've played
like
like,
Metroidvania, so I'm
you know how you get me in is if the main character is an animal.
like Ori.
Okay.
Nope, not. I never played Ori.
Oh,
I was thinking more like Fist Forged in Shadow Torch, where you're that rabbit with like the machine arm, like that
Yeah,
one.
yeah.
I played.
Kevin,
I
you've played Castlevania, but you have not played Ori in the Blind
Yeah.
Forest or Will of Wisps.
Yeah, of course. Yeah.
And that was the first and last time the Nerd Chat was invited onto Project XTalk.
I played Disney Illusion Island. I think was the last Metroidvania I played. That one doesn't have combat, so
Dan's gonna boot himself now.
Yeah, I gotta go.
he's
I'll see you guys later.
just gonna leave. Yeah. Well, I don't know what to say, man. Maybe one day I'll play Ori. It's just like, I don't know, something about it doesn't like draw me in. It's like people that are like, oh, you got to play Hollow Knight. I'm like, well, why? I don't want to play
And
Hollow
I
Knight.
agree with you completely on that one. And I loved Ori. They're probably not all that different. I mean, I'm sure that's sacrilege to say, but I don't think they're all that different. But I loved Ori. If you love a heartfelt story too, like talk about busting out some tears and getting dusty in the room, Ori will bring it.
Ooh, Ghostly Guides at the chat says Ori is bad controls.
Okay, somebody boot that guy right now. Put him on a 5-minute timeout. Bad controls. Can't you rebind everything? Which every game should have, by the way. Any game that doesn't let you rebind the controllers, that does suck. But the first Ori, you don't really have a long range attack chance, right? It's just the swipe, if I'm remembering correctly.
Oh, I think so.
So that, or it's the star that shoots out. So it is a little wonky, I'll say that, but still.
Oh, look at Luke backing
Probably
it up there.
Yeah.
I was gonna say, shout out to Xbox Expansion Pass. Ori is the best Metroidvania ever behind Super Metroid. He's absolutely right. I can't dispute that. Shout out Luke with a great take for once.
Maybe one day, okay, but I got so many games to play.
I know, yeah.
All right, like,
yeah,
like
can't
the ones
argue with that.
I'm going to talk about right now. All right, so obviously I host an Xbox podcast, so I've clearly been playing on Xbox all week. So I've played Paper Mario: The Thousand Year Door remake. I am about halfway done. I just got to chapter 4. I think there's 8 chapters.
Never played it.
This game's pacing is pretty rough, and I gotta say, I think nostalgia might be carrying this one.
Yeah.
Or all Nintendo products.
Yeah, that's.
And we agree.
No, I disagree with you. I disagree with you on that one. I think the Super Mario RPG remake that came out the end of last year, that's a fantastic game. That still holds up. Like, that was really great. This one, I'm like, I remember loving this on the GameCube, and now I'm just like, can you just shut up and let me play the game? Like, oh my god,
Oh, you sound like Daniel.
All the toads are just talking about nonsense, and I'm just like, there's no like fast forward.
Just let us play the game.
You can't skip anything. It's like, I'm gonna finish it. I'm not like
Ghost of Tsushima.
I'm having like a good time, but I'm not having a great time. I'm not having like, this is the best Mario RPG like I had in my brain for 20 years now. So
I'm glad you can admit that, though.
Yeah,
a lot of people.
I think I can.
You know, okay, thank you.
I think I can.
I never played that, by the way. No interest, but thank you.
What about this next one that I'm going to talk about? Cat Quest 3. So, listen, guys, don't knock it till you try.
I've heard good things about Cat Quest. I've not been able to play one yet. So many games.
Yes, so I grabbed this one. I think it was a launch day sale on Game Billet or whatever that website is called. We can get Steam keys pretty cheap. I think I got it like $10 off or something. So a pretty good deal because it's only like a $20 game. It's about 4 hours long. I beat it in 2 sittings, just about on my ROG Ally. So this was a PC game for me where I was just like, I'm gonna sit on the couch, do some Cat Quest. And the thing I love about Cat Quest is it's an action RPG, kind of like it's top down. You just hack and slash, then you get some gear, but you can take on enemies way higher level than you. So I was level 30 and I rolled into this neighborhood where there's level 60s, and I'm like, oh, they're gonna mess me up. And they would, except some of them are boats, and the boats are stuck in the water. And if you hop on the land and you have the patience, you can just attack them from the land with your gun and your magic. So I'm sitting there 20, 30 minutes at a time, just killing these level 60s until I'm overpowered. And then I roll into this cavern.
So like Elden, you're doing an Elden
you're
Ring
playing
strat
Elden
right
Ring,
now.
I think,
Yeah.
right?
If that's what Elden Ring's like, then yeah, I guess so. I roll into this cavern where I don't think I was supposed to be there yet, because it was like probably one of the final bosses, but he was like, oh, you came to the wrong neighborhood. And then I whooped him and took all his gear, and his gear just heals you on attack. So then I was like, I'm invincible now. Like nobody can stop me because I can mash the X button and no one is going to take me down. Man, it was so good. Like I don't care about the story in these games. They're ridiculous. There's going to be a fourth one. They already teased it. The apocalypse is coming. The
Great name.
Yeah. So I'm sure the fourth one will be out in a few years or whatever, and I'll play that one too, just because they're like fun, easy, short games. But man, yeah, like the Cat Quest 3.
Sounds like a really good portable game. Quick question: is it more like Tunic or more like Death's Door? Have you played those?
It's more like Death's Door.
Okay,
if I had it, it's not like two. It's not like two. It's easier than both of those games.
Yeah,
for sure. Because I love Death's
Door.
Door.
Love both of those too. Yeah.
I love Death's Door. I would say the combat is probably a little more similar to that than Tunic, but yeah, it's good. It's a good one.
I thought, is it not on Game Pass? Why do I feel
I thought it was. Yeah, wasn't it?
So Cat Quest 1 and 2 were on PS Plus.
I thought Cat Quest 3 was on Game Pass. Yeah, didn't it just come out? I'm looking right now.
I don't think so. Otherwise, I wasted my money.
I mean, no, it's not on Game Pass. You know, it's
not.
I'm not seeing it on PC Game Pass.
I feel like I can picture it. Like
I know that you can get all three in a bundle called the Perfect Collection.
Oh, of course, yeah.
And killing it with the names. That's what Nissa said.
Yeah. Nissa, shout out Nissa in the chat on Steam.
Shout out to Nissa.
3 for on a bundle. So that's all I've been playing this week. Right now, I'm trying to finish Paper Mario before Concord comes out, which probably won't happen. And listen, you guys play that Concord beta?
Did not. That's a pass.
Yeah.
I'd rather play Destiny.
You may have invited the wrong guys.
Yeah. Listen, to be fair, if you didn't like the Destiny PvP, you probably won't like this, because it feels pretty similar. Yeah.
There's just there's just other games I know I should try. It was on PC too, and I sold my PS5s because I'll just play PlayStation games on PC when they come out later. But
I ain't got the patience for that.
See, I do. I can. Speaking of, let me play the game. PlayStation, can you let me play your games? Like, that's all I ask. But
damn, Bacon in the chat.
Coming in hot and spicy. He couldn't be here. Just, I'm glad you like it.
For it, yeah?
Good. Yeah. No, I enjoy it.
I actually wanted to. I'm not allowed to say I want to play it because you can see what would happen to me. But
you'll be bullied.
There was nothing stopping you from joining the 1,000 people on Steam playing.
Yeah, Bubble Boy, if you want to come play, all right, cross play. We got a group. We can get you in.
There you go.
See, the welcoming community.
I think we lost like 4 matches in the 10 hours that we played in the beta. So like the community is going to be dead pretty quick once
you better join hopping right away.
Once me and my crew get in there and start demolishing everyone. But we did the same with Battleborn and Monday Night Combat. We're not afraid to do it to Concord. All right.
All right.
Well, enjoy that.
All right, guys. I think that's enough of what we've been playing. Why don't we jump into the news for this week? So, story number 1, Tango Gameworks is alive. 3 months ago, Xbox announced that they would be closing Tango Gameworks, creators of Hi-Fi Rush and The Evil Within, and everyone assumed that was the end of the story. However, on Monday this week, Krafton, the South Korean publisher behind PUBG and the Callisto Protocol, announced that they were acquiring the studio from Xbox along with the Hi-Fi Rush IP, stating, quote, "As part of this strategic agreement, Krafton intends to collaborate with Xbox and ZeniMax to ensure a smooth transition and maintain continuity at Tango Gameworks, allowing the talented team to continue developing the Hi-Fi Rush IP and explore future projects." So I'm gonna get you Daddy D Wally's opinion first, but Tango is alive. I don't think anyone saw this coming. It sounds like they're gonna be working on Hi-Fi Rush 2. How are we feeling?
I gotta say right away, love Tango Gameworks. Loved Evil Within 2, Ghostwire Tokyo. Played that one that came to Xbox. Waited for that one. Hi-Fi Rush, one of my games of the year. Okay. Actually, I
Absolutely.
even ordered, and I didn't even tell you guys this, Bubble Boy, an 808 limited edition like statue that was for pre-order months ago. I haven't heard from him for a while now.
Yeah,
I don't know
did you
what's
ever get
going
it?
on. I don't know if I'm ever going to get it, to be honest, but they did charge me for it. So I'm just waiting. I mean, with the
I was
anyway,
gonna say he didn't go over that one when he was
Yeah.
talking me through a shelf in the background. I don't know.
yeah, it's supposed to be back there. So I love Tango Gameworks. Spicy take inbound. Okay, you have it in the title of your show. Again, we're stealing that. As awesome as this is, are people really that excited to play a Hi-Fi Rush 2? Coming from someone who loved it, again, one of my games of the year. You didn't hear about it when it came to PlayStation. Clearly, not many people played it. Again, I love Hi-Fi Rush, but do you really see the maker, the people behind PUBG, and didn't they collaborate for what was
They published the Callisto Protocol.
the Callisto Protocol? I'm just saying, I know people are excited, and I think this is awesome that they're maintaining their jobs and they get to remain as a studio. Let's just pump the brakes a little bit and see where this goes. What do you think about that, Kevin?
I don't particularly agree. So I should let me rephrase that, okay? I understand kind of where you're coming from, because from what we heard, like Hi-Fi Rush, I think had 3 million players on Game Pass or whatever, didn't sell particularly
How
well.
many people got past like the second level?
Yeah,
second world?
exactly. Like, did not retain players, went to PlayStation, didn't do anything over there. So I do have a concern that Hi-Fi Rush 2 comes out is another critical darling.
Yes.
But then we see a post from Krafton like, oh, nobody bought the game.
That's all I'm saying.
I also have hope that because everyone rallied around Tango, was so upset about the closure,
are they going to show the support?
You gotta hope so, right? Like, I know I will be playing Hi-Fi Rush 2. Like,
me too.
I loved Hi-Fi Rush 1. Yeah, regardless if it's in Game Pass or whatever, like, I will be there for whenever Krafton puts this game out to show my support. If no one else is, that's gonna suck. And I don't want to hear people complain on social media if in a few years Krafton says, oh, Hi-Fi Rush 3 isn't happening, or Tango, we're gonna put on something else. Like, you have to show up for developers. That's how it works.
Bubble Boy, what do you think about this?
Well, so the very last part there, developing the Hi-Fi Rush IP and explore future projects.
Which we didn't say can't be Evil Within, can't be Ghostwire, because Xbox was smart, kept those. IP.
It's to me, that's the exciting part. If they make a Hi-Fi Rush 2, I'll be excited to play it. If they make a brand new IP, I'll be excited for that too. More than anything, I'm excited that all these people get to keep their jobs, and that what hits me the most about it is, like, if you're a smaller or even just not a AAA game studio, what else are you supposed to do? Like, how do you go to the decision makers or the people filling your pockets? You're like, what else could we have done to please all of you? And I get it's like, well, you could have made billions and we could have sold this many. If you are all those people whose livelihoods are on the line, it's like, well, I guess I should just go keep writing code for Fortnite or something. And I'm excited for the industry to see this happen.
I've spoken a lot on this show about how I don't think it's fair that people are now concerned about the sales figures of Xbox games when Xbox is pushing Game Pass, right? And
agree.
I see people bring up Tango as an example of that. Like nobody bought the game. Well, yeah, because it's a $30 niche genre that was in a subscription service. Like, why would you buy the game? So my metric of success when they're over there, oh, we had 3 million players. Like, if that isn't the metric of success, like you were saying, I don't know what they are looking for. And under Krafton, who doesn't have a subscription service, who has PUBG probably making the majority of their revenue, right? I have to imagine, because I particularly like the Callisto Protocol. I famously once said I had more fun with it than Dead Space Remake. I know that's probably that's probably a hot take. Yeah. I like the Callisto. I like it. Sam, my Jamback Sam likes it too.
Bacon just raged out of the chat now.
Not more than Dead Space, I don't think, but we're a pro Callisto Protocol podcast here, okay? But I just don't know what Krafton is going to hold them to. Like, are they expecting sell 1 million copies and that's a success? Sell 2 million copies? I really wonder where they're coming in after, hey, we paid Microsoft this amount of money for you, which we don't know the figure, and we don't know like we don't know how long they're going to put, how much money they're going to put into Hi-Fi Rush 2, how long it's going to be a development. Like, is it going to come out and be a $70 game, or is it going to be another smaller title?
I just want to say too about Hi-Fi. Nissa said this. I forgot that it hasn't come to the Switch yet, which I do think would be a good platform for it. But I don't know. I'm just. Does anyone know why do you think that's not on Switch? Is it that demanding of a game? I mean, if we can get Doom and Witcher on there, is it really that? Go ahead. Sorry.
Well, I do think that it'll come to the Switch too, like the successor to the Switch. I really do think it was just a timing thing, because the Switch is old hard. My Switch is loud these days, and I'm playing like Paper Mario over there. So like, I can't imagine booting up Hi-Fi Rush even at 30 FPS, and like, it's gonna be chugging.
Yeah, so I know I don't.
No, go for it.
Again, I'm happy that Tango Gameworks is alive, but like you basically said it a little bit more nicely than me, is that I hope people come and support this game if it is a Hi-Fi Rush 2. And I do really, if they don't, then you're right. We can't complain about this. And I don't want to hear, you're right. I don't want to hear about like, oh, well, Xbox just closed them, like, no, nobody was supporting this game. And apparently it just didn't have that big of an audience, but love Hi-Fi Rush. Again, one of the best games 2023.
Yeah, and especially because we don't ever see this in games these days. Like, we've had studios come back like years later. I think of what's the team that did Time Splitters? They just got closed again too, which is like super sad.
So you don't think like Microsoft was kind of actively in the background, maybe talking to Krafton about, like, we're just gonna let them go and you guys can buy them or whatever?
I really think this deal must have happened in the last 3 months. I don't see a world where Xbox takes that negative PR on the chin, knowing that they were potentially going to sell them.
It's okay. Eidos Interactive,
Free Radical
published
Free Radical. Thank you, Free Radical. Yes, that was the times who, like, they were gone for a while, came back, and now they're shut down again because Embracer is doing awful things. Yeah. So everyone get out there, support Hi-Fi Rush 2 when it comes out. Most of the Tango employees are back from what I understand. I know John Johannes is, so good hands over there. Hopefully Krafton gives them the time and financial support. So
agreed.
Anything else on Tango before we move on, guys?
Nope.
All right. You might have a little more spiciness on this next one. Story number 2 is Forza Horizon 5 coming to the PlayStation 5. This rumor comes way of Shinobi 602, who I gotta say, I thought he just retweeted news. I know he's breaking rumors these days.
Oh, and yeah, he definitely retweets. But I love Shinobi.
Yeah. Ecstasis, who also, he leaks some things. Shinobi stated on Reset Era that he heard a big Xbox game is being announced for PS5 next week, and Ecstasis replied to the rumor with a map of Mexico, leading to the speculation the game in question is Forza Horizon 5 and will be announced at Opening Night Live next Tuesday. Jez Corden said that he heard it isn't Forza this time. So, Bubble Boy, Forza Horizon 5, some saying it's going to PS5, some saying it's not. How are we feeling?
I think Dan's gonna boot me off of our show for saying this. I don't know. And I am firmly on Team Green over Team Blue. I love this. Forza Horizon 5 was one of the best games I've played in the last decade, and I love that more people are gonna get to enjoy it.
Even though, Bubble Boy, 40 million players on Xbox and PC have checked out this game according to its leaderboard.
Kevin, you're going to get me fired from my other show.
No, actually, Kevin, what's funny is I thought Bubble Boy was going to say that he won the Eliminator and he has every achievement on Forza Horizon 5 because he loves to rub that into my face.
I hadn't gotten there yet. I haven't gotten there yet. Okay. No, I'm excited. I don't love the culture of it when it has to be green versus blue or Xbox versus PlayStation. I wish we could get to a world where Sony can be Sony, Microsoft can be Microsoft, and we can all play good games together. And I would be ecstatic to talk to some of my PS5 only friends about their time with Forza Horizon 5, because it is hands down better than any and every racing game Sony's ever put out.
I mean, any racing game ever.
Yeah, I think it is the pinnacle of racing games for me. Like, I'm not even a racing guy, but I hopped into Forza Horizon 5 and I was like, this game's fantastic. I had my friends were playing it, like, and that isn't something we do just to go like shows you how good that game is. And as you were saying, 40 million players, right? I think it just passed that milestone, which is insane. Yeah. However, I will say, I don't particularly think this rumor is true.
Why?
I just think Xtasis has a very shoddy track record. And and if I had to believe anyone, like, it'd be Jez. But even apart, if nobody had said anything, if this was just a rumor, I'd be like, I don't believe this, because I think Halo, Gears, and Forza are probably the last three franchises we see go over. Like, I do not think that, as it stands right now, where we've had Grounded, Sea of Thieves, Hi-Fi Rush, and Pentiment, three of which did absolutely nothing when they got poured over. Sea of Thieves did very well. I don't see a world where they immediately jump to Forza Horizon 5 is the next one, our flagship racing game on a console.
One of the best Xbox IP and games ever.
Yeah, on a console that has Gran Turismo as their flagship race. Like, I listen, I'm not a Gran Turismo guy, but I don't see a world where Xbox makes that jump. I think we go a little smaller here. Like, is there an Xbox title being announced for PlayStation next week at Opening It Live? Possibly. I will firmly believe that Xbox is not done bringing games over. If they were to, like, okay, I should focus this. There are two approaches I can see, all right? The one is live service. What other live service games can we bring over? Because Sea of Thieves was the only successful, I think Grounded did okay, but Sea of Thieves was really the only successful game over on PlayStation, which shows you, like, maybe the live service games are the ones we should be focused on porting over there, gets you more revenue, microtransactions. And then the other part of me says Hellblade 2. I think, and people might not want to hear that because it was supposed to be a big deal for Xbox.
I like it, Muffin Mon.
I think Hellblade 2, and I've said this before launch, I think Hellblade 2 came out with a whimper. I loved it. I did a 2-hour spoiler cast on this channel. I've still said a fan theory about the game that no one else has said. Like, I went deep into this game. All right. That being said, Ninja Theory has yet to tell us anything
about how that went like a fart in the wind. Am I right?
They have literally not said, like, oh, we've hit 1 million players, we've hit 5. They've said nothing, which tells me that the engagement and sales probably pretty low.
And it has the ties to PlayStation.
I'm sure the ties to PlayStation.
It was originally exclusive to PlayStation 4. So I like it. I was going to ask you, what do you think could be the game then? And you kind of answered my question. Back quickly about Forza. I know Luke's going to hate me for saying this. Playground Games does not miss. They make banger after banger after slanger. Always rated high since Forza Horizon 2, 3, 4, 5. Every game has stepped up. I have full faith in them in Fable. And what you were saying makes a lot of sense. As much as I agree with Bubble Boy, I want more people to play Forza Horizon. And then people on PlayStation will be like, wow, I've been missing this for years. It sucks. Like, they're not going to be able to go back and experience the previous Forza Horizons. You made a great point. Like, this is one of the pillars for Xbox right now. You come to Xbox to play Forza Horizon, and giving the latest one doesn't quite make sense. You're right. And in addition to that, there are a lot of licensing issues with music and cars, and they delist these games. And I recently, Bubble Boy, I forgot to tell you, just purchased, I think they're delisting 4, if I'm not mistaken.
No, you did, yeah, because that's what Grayson's
So right? I'm so glad I did, because my son, who's 6, I've been there. By the way, great Forza Horizon, great game for young kids. If anyone's listening who has young kids, it's a fantastic opening for them. I am so happy I purchased these as they're being delisted, because my son gets to go back and experience these, and it's all new to him. Even though I've done everything in the game, I'm like, oh yeah, he's gonna have such a great time.
Well,
so
everything but that, chicken dinner.
Yes, of course, I will never get the Eliminator win. But you bring up a great point. Too soon for Forza Horizon, and that might be an issue with licensing in the future as well. And it's a pillar. But your theory on Hellblade, is it too soon though? Like. That's the only way I would push back. Otherwise, I don't know what else you would do. I mean, I don't care at this point. Like, if you ever listen to our show, we're over exclusives. Like, I wish we could play everything on any platform. And thankfully, most of us invested in a PC, and that's pretty much a reality now. Like, I, unlike you, can wait for PlayStation games, because I think they're all very similar, and I can wait. Like, I thought The Last of Us was good. I don't think it's the greatest game ever. I thought The Last of Us 2 was fine.
I agree with you.
I think The Last of Us 2, everyone hated that for Joel deserved what he got. I'm saying it right now. And Abby's a badass.
I don't know about that. I'm not a big fan of Abby, but I agree with
Joel deserved what he got. Thank you. We can agree on that.
But a Plague Tale, better Last of Us.
I haven't played those yet. Chance has played both. I know. I hear they're great.
I love them so much.
As far as that, eventually down the road, sure. But right now, a Playground and Forza Horizon, you're right. They're too important. Bubble Boy, what do you think? Is there any game that you can think of that they might put over?
No, because all I can think about is Hellblade now, and going back, and I'm in the member berries of like, God, I love that game.
Yeah, Bubble Boy is a huge Hellblade fan.
It's in my top 5 all time.
Whoa, the 1 or 2?
1, 2.
Yes. Same with Bubble Boy is right there with you.
One I think is 1 is better on basically everything except visuals. And that's
which
I'm not saying
visuals were insane.
No, I think Hellblade 2 is the best looking game I've ever seen in my life.
Absolutely.
Absolutely. But like, I do think the combat, while maybe more like realistic and brutal, was a step back in terms of fun. Like, I don't think it's nearly as fun.
Really? I thought I had more fun in 2.
It's personal preferences. Everybody I've replayed 1 including this year leading up to. I've replayed it like 5 times now. I could beat it in about 4 hours. Like, I can just breeze through the game. So
if you're not a fan of tangents, please cut me off. But I guess I'll just say I'm rambling now. So I have struggled with some mental health in my time, specifically anxiety. And while that's not exactly what is being portrayed in Hellblade.
I don't know. There's anxiety in that game for sure.
Well, sure. I don't think that's like the main thing, but it's all comorbid. So anyway, the feelings that game put into my body were unreal. I think at the end of the day, I've said this a few times, like, I think the point of art, and to me, video games are a form of art, just like a movie or painting or music. The point of art is to elicit feelings or discourse, right? I think if you really had to narrow it down, and that game did it better than maybe any movie I've ever watched, definitely any piece of art, maybe any song. I'm a huge music fan too, but the way it made me feel, I cannot think of anything that's ever topped that.
Yeah, I've talked about this a few times on a few shows. Hellblade, and then I would say Celeste are two games that I played back to back.
Oh gosh, that's heavy.
Yeah, it was during a time I've said this. I credit those 2 games with like reinvigorating my love of gaming and being like, wow, this medium can be so much more. And I was just like, I clearly was playing the wrong games, and that kind of signaled my transition from like more multiplayer to single player to like story focused games like that. So I hold both of those games in very high regard.
Awesome.
Yeah,
I love it. Well, thank you for letting me share that, and thank you for sharing your story a little bit.
Yeah, no, listen, I will talk about Hellblade for hours. Yeah, I love Hellblade. But going back to this discussion, I wanted to throw one more game out there that I want to know you guys.
Can I throw one out?
Yeah, I wonder if it's the same.
My real one, State of Decay 2.
Oh no, it wasn't. I didn't even think. I don't even think.
What's wrong? I think State of Decay 2 would be a great one.
No, it's a good game. It's a good game. I don't have a problem with it. I just don't know. Does anyone care?
It's old. It's a live servicey game. There's co-op. State of Decay 2. I feel like that could be a realistic IP that goes over, because everyone's like, "Oh, bring a Gears of War collection," or what was yours?
Happening. That's not Gears. Gears isn't coming anytime soon. I'm gonna tell you.
I have two other random ones, or three other random ones.
State of Decay 2 is 2018. Okay,
exactly.
And
yeah,
it is a good game. I just.
I love State of Decay.
Yeah, I wonder if the PlayStation audience would care. Or even like,
but did they care about Pentiment or Hi-Fi Rush?
No, but that's what I'm see in my mind. Xbox saw that they didn't care, and they're like, okay, well, we need something a little more high profile than Pentiment. All right, and no shade to Pentiment. All right.
What about three randoms: Crackdown 3, Sunset Overdrive, Recore.
Ooh, Sunset Overdrive would be a great pick. I think PlayStation would eat that up, actually.
Yeah. And I mean, what does Xbox have with that? I mean, why not? Just throw them the bone.
Just throw Insomniac on there.
Yeah, go on.
Yeah, sounds good. I don't think the other two are really...
You don't like Recore?
I don't. My brother loves it, and I know Luke actually likes it too.
Luke, the Recore gameplay, fantastic. Sorry, go ahead. What was your
I love Crackdown 3.
So do I.
I don't think it's Crackdown 3 because no one wants it. I'll take Crackdown 4 any day of the week, man. I love that game.
Yes. Yes.
I was gonna say, what are the chances it's Starfield? They get the expansion announcement and then the PS5 port to go along with it.
Here's the thing. I'll allow it. You know why? Because everyone's going to be like, this is the greatest game ever now that it's on all. That game was...
I love Starfield.
Unfairly treated simply because it was an Xbox and PC game. Yeah. Everyone wants to be like, no, that's not it. Don't lie. We all know that's the reason why Starfield got so much hate. That would be ballsy, man. Like, I mean, that would literally be saying...
Ballsy, though? Why not?
Yes, because it's like... I'm not saying it's not impossible or down the road, but to do it exactly, you've got, I mean, lining up a year basically after release and then be like, Shattered Space will come first to Xbox. You can't play that yet. Oh man, that's ballsy, Muffin Mon.
The way I look at it, okay. Let me paint you a word picture.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
We know that a PS5 version was in development when they got acquired, right? So maybe this would be a low investment port if they've already had work on it. Like, just get that up and running, get that like finished, okay? And then Starfield is one of the games that actually sold quite well. Like, we know it had a good player count and
still did
really well in sales, whether that's PC. I'm sure some people bought it on Xbox, especially with that $30 premium edition, which we all
Yeah, I can't wait for Shattered Space.
Yeah, me either.
Can't wait.
Me either. And then if you throw Shattered Space out there and say, "Hey, Shattered Space is going to launch on everything at the it'll launch with the PS5 version," how much more can Xbox get out of Starfield? Is what I'm thinking. Like, do they look at it a year on and say, we're not really going to generate many Game Pass subscriptions from this game anymore? I think the sales on the platform probably are, they've hit their peak, right? Do they now go to the other console where I guarantee you easy 5 million extra sales?
Oh, sure.
You think so? Because everyone the internet hates Starfield. So the
internet isn't real.
And then they're just going to flip. They're just, I know.
But that wouldn't really honestly upset you, would it, Daniel?
No, I was just going to say that, but what I want more people to play Starfield because I want them to see the great game that is in there. And I wish more people would just play the campaign. It is Bethesda's best single player campaign bubble. I think we've all agreed on it. The best story they've ever told for a campaign. And I want more people to just stay focused on that because there's so much that can happen. No, I would not be mad that more people get to play it, but it is kind of a slap in the face to your loyal Xbox core who's like, we were so excited for this. I don't care about I play it on PC. I want more people to play, but
see, the way I look at it is
gotta rip the Band-Aid off.
It's a Bethesda game, right? And I know Bethesda's part of Xbox,
and they bought Bethesda pretty far before the end of development. Like they were supporting this game a lot.
I totally agree with you, but when we talk about publishers, right? Like when we talk about Activision, we don't just say Xbox, right? They still very much, like, we all know Xbox owns these things, but the general masses still view a lot of these things not as Xbox. They're like, oh, Activision, Bethesda. Like, they talk about them as singular entities. So for me, and we like, it is an Xbox game, but it's not an Xbox game. Like, I can see a world where they say we're okay with that one. Like, that's not an
this Xbox soon though. IP. Like
I don't think it is this soon.
If their third party strategy is really going to come to fruition,
it is. What is it?
Then what does it matter when it happens, right? Like, just get it over with.
When?
To me, it's not Halo, it's not Gears, it's not.
Well, Forza, then my counter argument,
I think
counter argument would be give them the Master Chief Collection, give them the Gears Collection. Why not those? Like, those are great.
Xbox fans aren't ready for that. All right,
but see, I would push back. Do Xbox fans really care about Halo that much these days? When everyone complains about Halo 5 and ever since 343 took over, and everyone hates on Halo Infinite, even though we forget how amazing that 3 months was when that game launched and everything, everybody loved it. And it was a fantastic campaign. My personal favorite, the grapple shot, what an addition to the franchise. I don't know if people, like Luke has said in his show, how many people really do care about Halo Infinite? Like, how many people do care about Gears? Are we giving Gears and Halo too much credit for being the franchise pillars of Xbox? To me, I think Forza Horizon is the new pillar of Xbox. I think Luke has said this too. I think maybe we do need to push Starfield / Bethesda games, Skyrim, Fallout as a pillar of Xbox now. We're old school fans of Xbox. Do the people care about those games as much? I don't know if Halo and Gears has that big of an audience or loyalty that you're thinking. Maybe among us old.
I was gonna say, this is where I want to know the demographics of the Xbox player base. Like, how is the Xbox player base us?
It is
30-year-old.
I think it is the older people. I think it is.
So then for us, those IPs still, like, do they want to make us angry? Like they do to me. Like, I still love Halo. I still love Gears.
Do too, but I don't think anecdotal evidence. I say this all the time. My friends have 2 kids, middle schoolers, right? What do I see them playing?
Roblox,
Fortnite,
probably.
Roblox, Rainbow Six. I see a lot of. I tried to get him into Halo. He played for like a week, quit off of Halo. I just don't know if these IP hold the value that we want and we love from them from the good old days. One more idea. What about this one? Flight Simulator.
I don't think the PS5 can handle it.
Why can't that be on PlayStation?
If the Xbox can handle it, I think the PS5
Why can't Flight Sim be on PlayStation? I think that's
I have no problem with Flight. Yeah, I have no problem with Flight Sim going. Like,
takes place in Mexico if you want it to.
Just see Microsoft Flight Simulator 2024 over on PlayStation.
The previous one. But Luke, if you're still in the chat and listening, Luke, what do you think? Do you think Starfield is realistic here?
Luke says they don't care about Xbox fans; they care about customers, and I get that, but they'll get those customers when they eventually go over. They got to ease the current customer fan base into that mindset. I think anyway.
I mean, if they did that, then that's just like all rules are off at that point. If you're going to bring Starfield that soon, I think you're like saying, expect Indiana Jones and
I do expect Indiana Jones to eventually go on PlayStation. Like
I do too, but within the year, like 6 months, like what's the point at that point? I don't know, guys. I mean, it's exciting regardless, nonetheless. Like I'm excited to play all these games. I'll play them on Microsoft Xbox app on PC, or
Mhm.
whatever I can't play on PC, I'll play on my Series X. But you're throwing me off with this Hellblade and stuff. You're going crazy over there.
I just
Kevin.
think they want
Crazy.
some money, you know, and I
Yep.
think
Yep.
they got to try to recoup those Hellblade development costs.
Bring
but,
up Luke's chat there, Kevin. I think that's a good one.
that one?
The last one. So Luke's,
Starfield will happen, but not this year. I like the idea of State of Decay, Hellblade, or Forza.
okay. All right.
Good
stuff there. Good talk, Kevin. I like that was a good combo.
Yeah, I agree. Starfield will happen eventually, probably. I think it's inevitable.
Next week? Oh.
It's not coming next week. Like, what if they're just like, oh, it's in development, 2025?
Okay, that I can handle.
Okay.
That I can handle. That's okay. Okay.
Okay. Yeah. All right. Yeah. Okay, guys. Let's end with some little small piece of news. All right. I don't even know if you guys care about this game, but
we do. We have a direct connection to this.
Replaced, an Xbox exclusive, has once again been delayed. Developer Sad Cat stating in a message, "We'll keep it short. Replaced will now be released in 2025. Our initial release date was optimistic, and we apologize for that." They then go on to say that they'll have something later in the week, Gamescom. We know now that was like some 13-minute gameplay demo and all the stuff that they're releasing about the game. But Replaced, not one I'm eagerly anticipating, but you two said you got some connections. So Daddy D Wally, what's going on?
No, Bubble Boy, explain this. By the way, just before we get started, when do you guys think this was officially revealed? What year?
Oh gosh,
2022. No way, really?
The only reason you asked is because it's probably
the
2017.
E3 reveal trailer was in 2021. Where is this game? Bubble Boy, take it away. Tell them why this directly affects us.
Well, I'm not positive I know. Is it on the fantasy? Is that the right?
Yes, we drafted Replaced, anticipating it this year in excitement.
I was like, there has to be something more. Is Pony developing this game? I feel like, and I don't know where your take is, Kevin. I'd love to hear it. I am never excited when a game gets delayed, but I'm perfectly okay with it. I'm very excited to play Replaced. It is right up my alley. This will be most likely a day one.
This game looks incredible.
And take your time.
Yeah.
Take your time. Now that I am what I like. Now that I pretend to be an adult and I have patience, take your time. And so I am, again, sad that it won't be sooner, but I want it to be the right game, and I want it to be the game that they wanted to make, not the game that they were forced to put out to sell by somebody else's timeline.
Yeah, no, I'm right there with you, Bubble Boy. I want all games to take, well, not as much as this game's taking, but they are taking their time. I think it's fine. I will gladly wait for this because I can't wait to play it. I've always thought since the initial trailer back in 2021 that this game looked interesting. And this goes along with Avowed. I'm glad Avowed was pushed. I think let these games breathe. Like Kevin, you were saying, too many games to play. There's so many things we can play, especially this fall is stacked as all can be. So I have no problem with this. I'm excited to play Replaced when it finally comes out. And take even more time at this point.
Yeah, I've heard nothing but good things about Replaced. I know
except for Luke in the chat there saying a snoozer. What is going on there? Jeez, somebody put him in a 5-minute timeout.
Luke, off camera, I'm probably with you. It's not a game for me. I'm not going to play this game, but I've heard nothing but good things about it from people that went hands-on at like things like Summer Game Fest, and I know Ryan McCaffrey was pretty high on the new footage he put out and everything. So the game looks to be shaping up. If you're into this style of game, like I think you'll be pleasantly, like you'll be happy when the title does officially come out. I don't know when that's gonna be. It just said 2025, late 2025, maybe. Like at this point, just take your time because, as you said, like we just got the Plucky Squire release date. We got Dragon Age release date.
We also drafted that.
Yeah. There's so many games just within the next 2 months, a lot of games on top of each other. And then if you if you look past that, like November, you get things like Assassin's Creed, and then December, rumored Indiana Jones. Like there are games throughout the next 4 months. So when you're like, oh, here's our indie game, I know it's in Game Pass, but like it's gonna get overshadowed. And like if Avowed can't find a space to release, where does Replace fit in? Is that was my immediate thought when I got on, like, no surprise there, completely fine. Like take your time with this, and it's just like we had plenty of months this summer where games could have come out, but now everyone's just throwing them in the second half of the second last quarter of the year, really. And it's just like it's overwhelming. My wallet is crying. I don't know when I'm gonna have time to play these games, and like I finish games pretty fast, all right, but like I don't know what to do, man.
No, I completely agree. Do you have any kids?
No, I don't.
Okay, well, enjoy the free time and play as many games as possible.
I'm on track for 54 this year to beat.
Ooh.
I usually beat between 40 and 60 a year.
Okay.
Wow.
Yeah. So.
Are you big into achievements or trophies, or you just enjoy the game?
Depends on the game. If it's a 3D platformer, I usually try to get the 100% or platinum. I love 3D platformers. Yeah.
Okay, gotcha.
Like Astrobot, platinuming that. Plucky Squire, I'll platinum that.
Okay.
It's crazy.
Gotcha.
All right, guys, we got a few listener questions, and then we'll get you on out of here. So our first question comes from Sam Heaney, who writes and says, will Xbox regret getting rid of Tango in the coming years? Not just a foothold for Japanese talent, they've now given away Hi-Fi Rush, one of Xbox's few new critically acclaimed IPs in several years. Xbox seem mostly adverse to building up new IP over time. Thoughts? As an addendum, additional question, do you think Xbox may offload any additional teams in the short term?
Well, boy, you think there might be more?
So why not at this point? Like, what's going to stop them from doing that? If it's like, if I empathized with this Tango team, it's like, well, what else could we have done? And so if they're going to do it to them, who's next, right? Unless you're Activision, Blizzard, or Bethesda.
Mm-hmm. As far as like the Japanese talent, I agree that definitely is a loss for Xbox, and Tango's, like I said, a fantastic studio. But I mean, I'm looking ahead. Sorry, Kevin, I'm looking at the next question, and I tend to agree with that. But like, one thing I want to push back on though is, do they not try to averse to building new IP over time? I don't know about that. I feel like Xbox is one of the few recently that has been trying to push new games or variety of games, and maybe not new IP, but definitely diversity. So I don't know if it's necessarily that they're afraid of pushing new IPs because they got rid of Hi-Fi Rush, because I think they know new Hi-Fi Rush was a great game. But I think that, as harsh as this sounds, I just think it came down to numbers and like where they see the studio going, where they see gamers going, where they see their numbers of how people are spending their time and money. So that's all I really have to say about Tango. It sucks, but I'm glad they're around. But again, Kevin, let's see what happens if Hi-Fi Rush 2 is a thing.
I think from a critical standpoint, like review-wise, having those awards, they could possibly miss Tango. That said, Microsoft cares way more about money than accolades. So from a money perspective, will they miss Hi-Fi, The Evil Within, Ghostwire, like games I really like, but games nobody bought, or games that didn't have the it's true though. Like I don't want to sound harsh, but like I bought Ghostwire Tokyo day one, and I don't know many people that did. Like it wasn't selling. The Evil Within, I haven't got around to those, but from like what I've heard, good games. But again, if they were selling off the shelves, I think there would be a third one, and there isn't. So it really does come down to that. I won't push back on the Microsoft incubating new IPs until we see things like South of Midnight, Clockwork Revolution.
But they're there. It's
for now. If they come out and then it's a Tango situation, then I'll push back and be like, yeah, they're not giving studios time to build these IPs. But if they let them, like, do we get a South of Midnight 2 if the game is successful? Like, we have to wait and see.
But
'cause, like,
wait. But why do we have to have sequels? Why can't we just have one game?
We don't.
And just
I'm
enjoy
completely
it?
fine with that. Yeah, that's fine with me. I just think in the modern gaming landscape, sequels are kind of what people like. Assassin's Creed has 16 of them, right? Like Final Fantasy are sequels, but like names mean something. That's why people are stuck on the same IPs over and over. This is why y'all let Immortals of Avium die. This is on you, okay?
Is it? Is that really? Is it?
That's a good game.
No, I hear it's good. I hear it had a lot of technical issues at first, if I remember correctly, but I still have yet to play it. I'll play that on PC.
I'm very much on the new IP train.
Oh yeah, and you can't deny Xbox is
go.
not doing that. I feel like they are doing a great job. Did you want to read Ghostly's comment there?
Didn't they only sell Hi-Fi Rush
Yes.
IP? I thought yes. No, I was saying that before they closed them down, if those games had sold, they would have made sequels. That was my point.
Gotcha.
Nissa Howard writes in, what did you guys think of the Stalker 2 walkthrough? I didn't watch it. I didn't watch it.
I didn't watch it either, Nissa, but here's the thing. We drafted Stalker, dropped it to pick up something else, and then Replace was we dropped it to get Astrobot, I think. And then Replace was canceled, so we just picked it back up. I want to play this game. I'm excited for it, but I'm not gonna lie. Every time I see it, I'm like, what do you think,
this
Kevin?
I think it looks like Metro. And
yeah, I agree. But like, have you seen anything? Have you seen anything though that makes it stand out? Because I haven't, and I haven't seen maybe this recent trailer shows more. And I'm sorry, I did not watch the recent one. I'm going to play day one. Obviously, it's on Game Pass. I'm there. But like to me, when I saw the last trailer, I was like, why do we still have this? So sorry.
I thought the lightning gun looked cool, but like everything I know about Stalker is like these games are super hard, and like I just don't know if that's for me. Like in a first-person shooter, that is like Metro. I had this conversation with Sam a few weeks ago where was it Sam? It was someone. Maybe it was Todd Oxford. I can't remember, but I was like, it goes Fallout, Metro, Stalker in terms of like they all have
Fallout's way off here.
They all have that kind of like similar aesthetic, but then they go like this game's a little more like realistic, gritty, hard, and then Stalker is like you're gonna be miserable.
Yeah.
Bubble, what you watch?
And I'm miserable the rest of my life, so why would I go to? I'm not. I'm kidding, but yeah, I didn't watch it either because I'm kind of like there's too much little snippets of this game without ever us just finally getting to play it, and I know why, and I'm not trying to be controversial. I understand that the whole, where they're coming from and stuff. I'm just ready to play rather than keep seeing things about it. So
on that same note though, hot take, spicy take right here. I'm done with seeing Indiana Jones. I'm just
agree.
ready. I'm ready to see that.
The last trailer.
I'm sold. I was sold from the announcement trailer. Then the last one, I've watched that again recently. Fantastic. Feels like I'm watching a movie. I don't need to see any more. I love Indiana Jones, but like Luke has been arguing, do the youngs care about Indiana Jones?
I'm 31. I don't know how old you guys are, but I'm 31.
We're a little bit older.
Wait.
I'm a man. I'm 40.
Yes. I heard it. We heard it.
What?
Yeah, it worked.
Yeah. No, you didn't.
Yeah,
I didn't hear it.
We heard it.
It doesn't matter. We're 39.
Okay. I don't care about Indiana Jones at all. The more I see of the game, the less interested.
Do you care about machine games?
Yes, I like.
Do you like Wolfenstein?
I did not like the co-op one. What was that? I tried playing that one.
Youngblood. But the first 3 of the reboots, fantastic. My brother is streaming those from work as a live stream chance. I was watching him today. Dude, those games are so much better than we remember, and they are fantastic. And it's hyping me up even more. I'm having more faith in machine games.
No, I have faith in them. The first trailer sold me. I was like, okay, this game looks great. And then the second one, I was just bored. I was like, I don't need all this story. All right. Like,
have you seen the movies?
No, that's why I'm like, I don't care about Indiana Jones because like I don't care about the movies. I don't care about this IP. I just I thought the first game looked cool. Like he had a whip and like
break in my heart. People, Well, at least you want to play it because of the trailers. Yeah. And he's no experience with Indiana Jones. That's saying something. Yeah.
I would say basically our age, right? And so But having not seen all those movies, there's your answer right there.
Yeah.
Still excited to play this game. So
Yeah.
I think Valve should have stayed though. Delay Indy.
Anyway, wait, I wanted to quickly. Ghostly said
Oh.
Evil Within got a sequel, so checkmate. But yeah, but didn't Evil Within 2 sell less than
that's the point I was trying to make.
Yeah, I don't know. I'd like to see how much. I don't know. I'd have to look up sales numbers, but yeah, sorry.
Yeah. All right, last question. Terabo writes in, says, people pointed out that Xbox takes an L on the whole Tango situation, yet they forget to mention that if Tango was so valuable, EA, Ubisoft, Take-Two, Bandai Namco, Capcom, Square Enix, Tencent, Nintendo, and even Sony would have picked them up. They didn't. What are the chances Xbox and all those other publishers are more or less right when it comes to the cost, the value ratio of Tango? Wow, going in at Tango Gameworks there.
Yeah, I mean, and not as aggressive, but that's kind of the point I want to say is like maybe there wasn't the value in Tango, and that's a great counterpoint to the other question is like, was the value, is it worth it? And apparently all those other publishers were like, we don't really see it. Krafton sees something with Tango Gameworks. I don't know. Maybe they are just going to make that Hi-Fi Rush 2 and be like, nope, okay, now you're going to be on PUBG support team or something like that afterwards. So I don't know. Sorry, Luke's saying something over there. I don't know what he's saying exactly.
It was an excellent point. I think what it makes me think about is just, again, what we talked about at the beginning. Like, it just sucks. It's sad.
Yes. Yeah, of course.
Like, what if you're Daniel and Kevin? I don't know if you know, we're all educators on our podcast. And so like, what do I tell one of my kids who's like, I want to be a video game developer? I'm like, well, you're just going to get fired.
No, you don't.
Yeah. Like,
that's what you tell them.
Right. It sucks. I wish I'm just going to start rambling. So I'll mute myself.
No, you're right. The co-host of our PlayStation show, she graduated college 2 or 3 years ago now or something. She went to school for video games. She wanted to be a writer in the industry.
Yeah.
And every time there's a layoff, it's just like kills her soul a little more and more. I feel like it's like when you look at that, you're like, oh, that's the industry I want to go into. But then also like, do you really want to go into it when like 15,000 people get laid off in half a year?
Yeah.
It's rough.
Yeah, it goes back to like, and we've talked about this on all our shows. Like we got to make, and shout out to Jim Ryan. Ghostly said something about Jim Ryan, and who was the one before Jim Ryan?
Sean Layden
saying games are getting too big, too expensive.
I agree.
We all agree. Then we're on the same page. Make these games 10 hours or less. We don't need all, like you were saying earlier when you're describing these short,
$100 million cap.
We argue about this all the time. People don't finish games. So what's the point? Why are you making these giant games if people aren't finishing these single player games? Make what you want. Just make it shorter. Who cares if people are going to complain and poo-poo over it, because they probably weren't going to buy it anyway. So if you want to make it your sales, make a shorter game, sell it for less, whatever. I'm all for changing the perception of what we expect these single player games to be, because younger kids aren't playing them. I see it on my friends list I know it's a few kids, but like they're playing the same games. They're watching it. They'd rather watch a streamer play through these games than actually play the game. You know, like it's like, I don't know. Something's going to happen.
I have a whole, no, not to cut you off, but I have a whole video essay that I want to do when I have time about why I think live service games are destroying the gaming. And like, I get they make so much money.
But
please do.
Counterpoint.
No,
is it destroying, or is that what people are saying they want? That's the kind of gaming experience that they want, guys. We are old. We grew up with Super Nintendo's, PlayStation 1's, the traditional console experience. That is not the experience now.
But counterpoint to that, that is all they know, because they refuse to give anything else a chance.
Yep.
It's maybe because free games.
Maybe because even these free games on Game Pass take 5 hours to get you hooked in.
No.
They're too long. Like the attention, there's something to the attention
span. That's true. Everyone's attention span is gone.
And scrolling, doom scrolling. Like
your own son is a perfect example. So he doesn't have like this library of, I could play this, I could play this. You're saying, Grayson, here's what you can play. And what's he choosing to play?
He plays all kinds of Forza Horizon. Is that what you want me to say?
Yes. Yes,
But Forza Horizon is a hook, and it is like a live service game, and it just lets you play the game. Thank God, a game that lets you play it and have fun.
How could you
But
possibly consider that?
he also
like
enjoys Yoshi's Crafted World. He's enjoying Donkey Kong. Again, simple games. Nintendo knows what they're doing. Just make a game that's fun and has good game mechanics, and hit on the nostalgia member berries, and you're gonna sell 5 million copies.
Okay, that side of it, yeah.
I agree with you. I agree. Those are the games my girlfriend, who's not a gamer, like we play the Nintendo games together. Mario, Yoshi, like those are the games. And I see,
sorry, go ahead.
No, I was gonna say, and I see spam here. Oh, hell, he said
Great
that jokingly. I agree, though. I agree.
No, guys, both of you. The game needs to be free to play. Let's be real.
No, because
why? It's going to die. It's going to be free to play quicker than you know it. I'm going to say you're going to be supporting beta.
I'm sure. And then once it goes free to play and they have egregious $20 skin microtransactions, they have battle passes. Like those are the things I hate. Like those are what drives me away from. Listen.
Then why do the youths spend millions and billions of dollars on?
I don't know. This is my problem. I don't know why they I don't get the disconnect between like, hey, pay one price and you get everything, and then there's reasonable price like extra content coming in the future versus live service games with battle passes where like, hey, you have to be here playing this game and this game only as a second job, or you will never get this skin, or you could pay $20.
I got a theory. How do you watch your favorite shows these days?
I don't watch TV, so
so you choose to play games, right?
Exactly. Yes,
You've got Game Pass. Chance, what do you watch for your shows?
Right now, we're watching House of the Dragon.
No, not what are you watching? How are you watching?
Subscription services.
Exactly. We have instant access to all this stuff. Our kids have instant access to Disney Plus. Our kids have instant access to doom scrolling on these tablets and phones and everything. This is why games need to change. This is why single player games aren't selling. I'm not saying I agree with it. Look at my member berries back there. I was pointing this out to Kevin earlier. We love this stuff, but Bubble Boy, we are aging out of the demographic.
And that's what's terrifying.
Games. And exactly. And Muffin Man, not so much because he's 8 years younger than this, but.
Are we not subscription service fatigued though? That's what I've been hearing for the last 4 years.
Sure. You guys say that? Right. Can you imagine going back to cable and dealing with commercials? You guys are whack.
No,
I don't do that.
Because you know what I have been doing is one at a time. I canceled my Netflix. I have my Max right
Disney
now,
Plus stuff 1 month. Yeah.
And then
that's fine, but you're still using the service, and you're still. I'm not saying you have to be subscribed forever. I have Netflix. Why? Because it's free, a part of my T-Mobile. I'm not paying for that. Ooh, that's great. Nice. I only pay for Disney Plus because my kids love Disney Plus. I'm not like everyone else who's like, oh, I got to subscribe to this. No, that's same with Game Pass. Like, I don't know, you guys. I
never hated cable. I hate cable companies.
We're back.
I hate the price of cable.
We're back there. We are back to cable, you guys, with all these subscribers. Even like seeing Max somehow pair up with Disney Plus and Hulu, and you just be like, "What? That's a cable. That's a cable package that you're paying for now."
No, we're reinventing cable.
Again, I'm happy to do that because I know I have the appropriate customer service if something happens with Disney Plus.
and the accessibility. And I hate seeing advertising. Like, I hate seeing commercials like that. I will never go back.
I pay $7 a month for Peacock. That's the ad tier. I'm good with it.
I can't do that. Sorry, I pay more. I do a Peacock. That's the one other one I pay.
Yeah, I do that for the Premier League, and that's literally.
Yeah, there you go.
Hilarious.
The worst part of my day was finding out my friend Dan uses.
Oh, dude, you're talking trash about T-Mobile. T-Mobile has been. I've had it since 2003, and in college,
Kevin,
fantastic, great service. Never had an issue.
Mute button, right?
This isn't 1999 T-Mobile, Luke. You gotta stop.
So I do.
$5
since
pizza.
You walked into this one, Kevin, too, though. So I lived in London for a little bit of time, right down from where the Arsenal Stadium was. So I had to tell you that, give you a shout out for
Who's Arsenal? Is this a rugby team?
Stop. You know exactly. He's being
future Premier League champions. Oh God.
Was that too
You gotta
loud?
warn
That's
audio
very loud.
listeners. Jeez, but
I can't hear it. I thought it didn't work. And I'm sorry. So I am not a huge soccer or football fan. But when I lived there, so we thought like the first weekend I got there, they were playing Chelsea, and this was back in 2007. So Drogba and
Oh wow, it was a while ago.
oh yeah. We were like, oh, we should probably show up like, I don't know, 3 or 4 hours early to the pub that day. And we'll get to do like what their version of a tailgate was. And so I don't know, whatever time that was, it was early in the morning. Yeah, no, no chance of even getting to be able to see on the street into the pub to see the TV from where we were at. Cause that was another world, man, that I lived in for a minute, and it was pretty cool.
That's cool.
Yeah, I want to go visit. I want to go visit one day.
If you haven't, and I'm sure we could talk more some other time about it. If you haven't, what a neat, just whole nother world that is so cool. So
yeah, absolutely. Well, guys, I think we're gonna wrap the show up there. And just in case you're Dan or Daddy D-Bally, I'm gonna make you feel better. All right, you have T-Mobile. I have AT&T Go phone. Okay, I don't even have a data plan. All right. I got unlimited text and calling because I am one of those. I was like, I don't need my phone if I'm out in the world. Like,
dude, that's great. I mean, you're not on there doom scrolling like the youth. So I'm proud of you.
That's right. That's right. I'm an old man, but guys, thank you so much for hanging out. Can you let everyone know where they can find each of you, Daddy Wally? Why don't we start with you first?
Yes, you can find me at Daddy D Wally across all social media on Xbox, PlayStation, even Nintendo. Does Nintendo have anything? I don't know. Steam, all social media. Daddy D Wally. You can follow the show at the Nerd Chat Podcast. We're going to be streaming live right after you guys here coming up and probably talk about some of the similar topics. Kevin, thank you so much for having us. Had a blast. We need to have you and Jam Pack Sam on. Chance, we need to.
I'm not pushing buttons.
Okay, well, we have the pick 'em up from Dumb and Dumber. We need to get you guys on the show stats. So you are welcome. Thank you again for having us.
Yeah, absolutely. So I'm sure I could speak for Sam when we both love to come on the show. So whenever you guys will have us, let us know.
Well, what are you doing in about 40 minutes?
Watching Grey's Anatomy with the girlfriend. I gotta reschedule those things.
You're not watching Bravo TV like me? Okay.
No.
Or Love is Blind, Netflix.
She does watch that. It's a whole
tell her my wife's watching UK right now. She's obsessed.
Bubble Boy, where can people find you?
Nowhere on the social medias because I am a high school counselor, and so social media has ruined my life. No, I'm kidding. It's every problem. He's what?
He's barely on there. I tag him on stuff all the time.
I am Bubble Boy on 7 on the things and all my Xbox and Steam account and all that stuff. But I try to stay away from social media as much as I can because it just feels nothing but toxic. So if you want to find me, I am always on or I'll be on the Nerd Chat.
There we go.
Yes, absolutely. Well, thank you both again. If anyone's listening, you can find me at the Muffin Mon. That's a 1 and 7 I, O and 7 A. Follow us at Save Game Media on Twitter, on Threads. Subscribe. We're approaching 1,000 subscribers, so we need your help. We're almost to 930, so I appreciate that. Until next week, Jam Pack Sam will be back.